Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something huge, something I know a lot of you grapple with. What it really takes to build an audience without paid promotion.
Yeah, it's a big one. So many people feel like they're just shouting into the void on social media unless they, throw money at ads.
Exactly. But here's the good news. Building a real, engaged following organically. It's not just possible, it's actually super powerful, maybe even more powerful in the long run.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's cost effective, for one, and you build this genuine connection, this lasting impact that paid ads. Well, they often struggle to achieve that depth.
So today we're going deep. We're exploring practical, actionable strategies, stuff you can actually use.
We're talking about creating content that people genuinely want to engage with, building supportive communities, and yeah, even figuring out how to make those tricky platform algorithms work for you, not against you.
And all without opening the wallet for promotion.
Zero ad spend. That's the goal here.
And this isn't just, for folks just starting out. These principles, they scale, whether you're building from scratch or trying to boost what you already have organically.
That's right. We're focused on sustainable, long-term growth. No quick fixes or hacks that, frankly, just don't last. It's about building something real.
We promise insights into creating systems that work, adapting when platforms inevitably change things up, and building that authentic presence. The kind that turns followers into, well, genuine fans and customers organically.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Where should we start? Maybe just pinning down what organic growth actually means in this context.
Good idea, because it's definitely more than just not paying for ads, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a whole strategic approach. It's about intentionally building lasting relationships. And you do that through authentic engagement and consistently delivering content your audience actually finds valuable.
I like the analogy you used earlier. It's like tending a garden versus buying fully grown plants.
Yeah, exactly. Paid ads, they're like those instant, fully grown plants. They look good right away, sure. But organic growth, that's the garden you cultivate.
Takes more time, more effort.
It does.
Yeah.
But the roots go so much deeper. The results are sustainable, resilient. You build something that lasts.
And that's where that compound effect comes in, isn't it? When organic growth really starts to take off.
Yes. The magic of compounding. When you consistently put out stuff that resonates, people don't just consume it passively. They react. They comment.
And crucially, they share it.
Right. They share it with their networks. They basically become your advocates, your volunteer marketing team, in a way.
It's powerful. Like, imagine a post reaches, say, 100 followers.
Okay.
And maybe just 10% share it, if their networks are roughly 100 people each.
Whoa. Okay, quick math. That's potentially 1,000 new people seeing your stuff.
Right.
Just from that initial 100.
Exactly. And if a fraction of those people follow and start engaging and sharing, it just snowballs.
Yeah.
Exponentially.
Fueled entirely by genuine connection and value, not ad dollars. Okay, so to help structure this, you mentioned a framework, the 4 pillars.
Yeah, let's call it the 4 pillars framework. Think of these as the essential foundations for building that self-sustaining growth ecosystem we're talking about.
Okay, lay them on me. What's pillar number 1?
Pillar 1, engagement. Simple word, but it means a lot.
It's not just about likes, is it?
No way. It's about real two-way communication. A conversation, not a monologue. It's about creating content that actually invites interaction.
So why is that so critical? What are the real benefits?
Building relationships, building trust, that's huge. When you engage, you show there's a real person or real people behind the account. You show you care about what your audience thinks.
Makes sense. And practically, how do we do engagement well?
Respond promptly, thoughtfully, not just the thumbs up emoji. Ask open-ended questions, questions that can't just be answered with yes or no.
Get people talking.
Exactly, and create interactive stuff, polls, Q&As, quizzes. Make it easy and fun for people to participate.
Okay, engagement, pillar 1, got it. What's next?
Pillar 2, consistency.
The steady drumbeat.
Pretty much. It's about being reliable. Showing up regularly, not just with posts, but with a consistent voice and style.
But why does that matter so much for organic growth?
It builds expectations and reliability. Your audience learns when to look for your content, what kind of vibe to expect. It builds trust, just like engagement does.
So how do we achieve that consistency?
Planning helps. A content calendar is your friend here. Map things out.
Makes sense.
Maintain that consistent brand voice we talked about. And yeah, post regularly. There's actually data suggesting accounts posting like 4 to 7 times a week see way more engagement than sporadic posters.
Interesting. So there's a rhythm to it. Not necessarily posting every day, but finding a sustainable, consistent rhythm.
Exactly. Quality over quantity still matters, but the consistency is key.
Oh,
Okay, pillar 3,
pillar 3 is content value. This is the absolute core, I think.
delivering the goods.
Totally. It's about giving people information that genuinely serves their needs, solves their problems, answers their questions, entertains them in a relevant way.
So less, look at me, buy my stuff, and more, here's something genuinely useful or interesting for you.
Precisely. Focus on solving problems, educating, entertaining. If your content consistently delivers real value, people have a reason to follow you, stick around, and pay attention. It's the magnet.
Love that. Okay, the final pillar, pillar 4,
The fourth is audience connection. This goes a step beyond just engagement.
deeper relationships.
Yeah, it's about building authentic bonds, turning followers into trim fans, into advocates.
How do we foster that? It sounds a bit fuzzy.
It's about showing personality, letting the human side of your brand shine through. Share your story, share your team's story, share your customers' stories.
Celebrate the community.
Exactly. Make people feel seen, heard, appreciated. When you create that sense of belonging, that connection becomes incredibly strong and loyal.
Okay, so engagement, consistency, content value, audience connection. These 4 pillars, they don't exist in isolation, do they? They must work together.
Oh, completely interconnected. It's a cycle.
Hmm.
Good, valuable content drives engagement. Engagement strengthens audience connection.
Right.
And that strong connection often motivates you to stay consistent because you're getting that positive feedback loop. It all feeds itself.
It's a whole ecosystem, and underlying all of it, the absolute non-negotiable is really knowing your audience, isn't it?
Couldn't said it better. You need to understand their pain points, their goals,
Yeah.
what kind of content formats they actually prefer when they're online, how they like to communicate.
The deeper you understand them.
The better you can tailor everything across all 4 pillars. It
Yeah.
all starts with the audience.
Okay, that's a solid foundation. Let's dive a bit deeper into engagement now. You called it the lifeblood. Why is it so fundamental?
Because it transforms passive scrollers into active participants. It turns your follower count into a real breathing community. Authentic engagement isn't just about those surface metrics like likes. It's about the meaningful conversations happening. That's where the relationships are built.
Right, not just vanity metrics. So psychologically, what makes someone want to engage online? What's going on there?
It often comes down to basic human needs. We engage with stuff that reflects our own values, right? Or content that genuinely helps us solve a problem we're facing.
Very tough.
Content that makes us feel understood or validated, or simply provides entertainment or emotional value. And a big one is that sense of belonging, being part of a group that gets you.
We're looking for connection, validation, solutions, things we look for offline too, really. So how do we bake that into our content? How do we design for engagement?
Be intentional about creating opportunities for interaction, instead of asking closed yes/no questions.
Like, did you like our new feature?
Exactly. Ask open-ended questions. What's one creative way you've used our new feature this week? See the difference?
Yeah, one invites a story, the other just a grunt.
Pretty much. You're sparking a real conversation.
Yeah.
Another really powerful tactic is sharing behind-the-scenes content.
Peeling back the curtain a bit.
Yeah. Show the team, show the process, show the office dog, whatever fits your brand. It humanizes you. It makes you relatable and fosters that connection.
So team spotlights, maybe how a product gets made, company culture moments.
All that good stuff. Even customer stories showing real people using your stuff successfully. That's powerful social proof, and it's engaging. It makes the brand feel less like a faceless entity.
And it's not just about putting the content out there and hoping for engagement. We have to participate too, right? It's two-way.
Absolutely critical. If someone takes the time to leave a thoughtful comment, you need to respond thoughtfully. No generic thanks replies.
Right.
Aim for responses that actually advance the conversation. Ask a follow-up question. Show genuine interest. Make them feel heard.
Foster that dialogue. Okay, so engagement is key, but we also need that value-first strategy you mentioned. What does that look like day to day?
It means your number one priority with pretty much every piece of content is providing genuine value to the audience. It's a mindset shift. You have to see value through their eyes, not just your own business goals.
So stop thinking, what do I want to sell? And start thinking, what does my audience need or find interesting?
Exactly. And figuring that out isn't guesswork. It requires a system for gathering and analyzing feedback. You need to listen actively.
How do we do that effectively? Where do we get that feedback?
Several places. First, monitor your engagement patterns closely. What gets the most shares? What sparks the best comments? What gets saved often? Where do people spend the most time? The data tells a story.
digging into the analytics beyond just likes and follows.
Definitely. Second, analyze your direct communications. What themes keep popping up in DMs? What questions are people constantly asking in comments? What are the support queries coming from social? What are people talking about in your community groups, if you have them?
It's like getting direct intel into their heads.
It really is.
Yeah.
And third, don't be afraid to do actual audience research. Run polls, surveys, maybe even small focus groups if that's feasible.
Yep.
Use social listening tools to track broader conversations about your brand and industry. And keep mining those platform analytics.
So it's a constant listening process, using multiple channels. Once we have all this valuable insight, how do we translate it into our content strategy? That value-first approach.
Let the insights guide you. A good rule of thumb to start with is the 80-20 rule.
80% value, 20% promotion.
Pretty much. Aim for about 80% of your content to be purely value-driven, helpful, educational, entertaining, inspiring, and reserve maybe 20% for more direct promotional messages. It keeps the audience engaged and builds trust, so when you do promote, they're more receptive.
Makes total sense. Build the relationship first. What kinds of content fall into that 80% value bucket?
Oh, load stuff. Educational content is huge. How-to guides, tutorials, industry insights, expert interviews, tip sheets, resource lists, entertainment content,
Yeah.
behind-the-scenes stuff like we talked about, user-generated content features, industry humor, if appropriate,
Yeah.
interactive challenges, creative takes on trends,
Got it.
and inspirational content.
Yeah.
Success stories, yours or customers, transformation showcases, motivational messages, goal-setting tips, community highlights. The possibilities are vast.
Wow. Yeah. Lots of options there. The key question then for every single post should be,
How does this genuinely benefit my audience? If you can answer that clearly for every piece of content, you're on the right track with the value-first strategy. Is it solving a problem? Simplifying something complex? Giving them an edge? That's the focus.
okay, value first, engaging content. Now let's talk about consistency again, and crucially, how we measure if any of this is actually working. Consistency feels like, well, a bit of a treadmill sometimes.
It can feel that way,
Yeah.
but it's so much more than just a posting schedule. Real consistency covers your entire social media presence. It builds that trust and recognition we keep talking about.
So not just when we post, but how we show up overall. Same vibe, same quality.
Exactly. Think of it as a comprehensive consistency framework. It has a few key parts. First, temporal consistency. That's the rhythm, aligning your posting schedule with audience expectations and platform dynamics. We mentioned that 4-7 posts a week data point.
Right, the engagement boost. But it's not just about hitting a number, is it?
Definitely not. Quality first, always. But temporal consistency also means figuring out when your audience is most active, mapping content types to the right time slots, building in buffer time for engagement, even planning themes around relevant dates. It's strategic timing.
Planning the rhythm, not just the posts. Okay, what's the second part of this consistency framework?
Brand voice consistency. Your brand's personality needs to shine through consistently. In your writing style, your tone, how you reply to comments, your use of humor or emotion, your visuals, even the themes in your stories. It should all feel like it's coming from the same authentic source.
So a tweet, an Instagram caption, a DM reply, it should all sound like us. Makes sense. What's the third piece?
Value proposition consistency. Every piece of content should somehow reinforce why people follow you in the first place. Your core value.
Ah, okay.
Does your content consistently address their needs? Do you maintain high quality? Do you deliver the benefits you promise? Does it support your overall brand positioning? Are you reinforcing your key messages? It all needs to hang together.
It connects back to why they're there. Okay, so that's the consistency side. Now, measurement. How do we know if our consistent, value-driven, engaging efforts are actually paying off? How do we move beyond just counting likes?
Measurement is absolutely crucial for knowing what's working and what needs tweaking. You need to track key metrics across a few categories. First, your engagement metrics.
Going beyond just the, count again.
Way beyond. Look at your engagement rate per post. What's the quality and sentiment of the comments? Are people sharing and saving your content? What are the click-through rates on your links? If you use stories, what are the completion rates? That tells you how people are really interacting.
Deeper interaction signals. Okay, what's the next category?
Growth metrics. These track the expansion of your presence. Follower growth rate, yes, but also reach and impressions, how many people are seeing your stuff. Profile visits, website referral traffic from social, even the volume of brand mentions.
So is our audience actually growing, and is our content getting seen? Got it.
Third category.
Community health metrics. These are super important if you're actively building a community. Things like your average response time to questions or comments, your resolution rate for issues raised on social, the level of participation in your community spaces, the amount of user-generated content people are creating, and the overall sentiment around your brand online.
Right, measuring the vibe and responsiveness of the community itself. So how do we put this all together? How do we track this regularly?
You need a framework. Track these key metrics weekly and monthly. Use the platform's own analytics, sure, but also consider social listening tools or specific engagement tracking tools if you can. Then, crucially, analyze that data. Use it to inform your strategy. What's resonating? What's falling flat? Let the data guide your adjustments. So it's a constant loop. Post consistently, measure deeply, adjust strategically.
Got it. Now, you mentioned touching on more advanced community building earlier, beyond just posting and replying. What does that involve?
Yeah, building a really thriving community goes deeper. One strategy is creating exclusive spaces for your most engaged followers. Private Facebook groups, maybe close friends stories on Instagram, dedicated Discord servers. That exclusivity makes people feel special and fosters deeper bonds.
A VIP area for the superfans. Cool. What else?
Implement structured community programs. Think ambassador programs, user-generated content campaigns with clear guidelines and rewards, community challenges, mentorship pairings within the group, exclusive Q&A sessions, things that actively encourage and reward participation.
So giving people specific ways to get more involved and contribute.
Exactly. And focus on fostering peer-to-peer connections. Encourage members to talk to each other, not just to you. Facilitate discussions, spotlight members, maybe even organize virtual or local meetups if it makes sense. When members connect with each other, the community becomes much stickier. The value shifts from just the brand to the connections within the community. Powerful.
It is. And finally, consistently celebrate community achievements. Spotlight member successes, mark community milestones, interview active members, reward contributions, make people feel recognized and appreciated. It strengthens bonds and reinforces positive behavior.
It sounds like true community building is about creating multi-layered value information, connection, recognition, belonging. It goes way beyond just follower count.
Absolutely. Organic growth isn't just about numbers. It's about building that sustainable ecosystem where the brand and the community thrive together. Focus on these foundations, measure what matters, stay adaptable, and you build something incredibly resilient.
Strength and connection, not just size. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. We've talked content, engagement, community, but where should we be doing all this? Choosing the right platforms is critical, isn't it? Spreading yourself too thin seems like a recipe for burnout.
Oh, absolutely. It's a classic mistake. Trying to be everywhere often means you're effective nowhere. With, over 5 billion social media users globally, according to Kepios data, you have to be strategic. Success isn't about omnipresence. It's about being present and active, where your ideal audience actually spends their time.
Quality over quantity again, so how do we figure out where our people are?
You need to understand that each platform is its own little world, its own ecosystem with unique rules, styles, expectations. What works on TikTok would likely crash and burn on LinkedIn and vice versa.
Right. Could you give us a quick rundown of the main players, like who hangs out where, generally speaking?
Sure. Let's take a quick look. Instagram. Huge user base, around 2 billion monthly active users, skews a bit younger, say 1834, often urban, very visual photos, stories, reels. Great for lifestyle, visual brands. Engagement is often interactive, maybe aspirational.
Okay. LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, getting close to 1 billion users, mostly 25-54, professionals, definitely B2B focused. Content tends to be longer form, industry insights, articles, it's all about professional networking.
Twitter, or X now?
X, around 450 million users, maybe 25-45, leaning often news junkies, tech folks. It's all about short form, real-time updates, quick interactions, conversations.
TikTok, the behemoth.
Yeah, TikTok. Over 1.5 billion users, heavily skewed 16-24, though broadening. It's driven by short, entertaining video, trends, challenges. Engagement is creative, authentic, often humorous. And get this, the average session time is huge, like nearly 90 minutes.
Okay. Facebook, still massive.
Facebook, still the largest, over 3 billion users. Broad demographic, 25-54 is a sweet spot. It supports mixed media formats, but its real strength now is community building through groups. Average session time is decent, around 33 minutes, and branded communities see way higher engagement.
And Pinterest, often overlooked.
Pinterest, Around 500 million users, leans heavily female, 25-44. It's all about visual discovery and planning. Think inspiration boards for projects, products, ideas. Users have high purchase intent, even if it's long-term planning. Average session time is shorter, maybe 14 minutes, but it's very intent-driven.
That's a great overview. The audiences and the vibe are so different, and the content types that work best vary dramatically, too.
Totally. Visuals rule Instagram. In-depth insights win on LinkedIn. Brevity and conversation are key on X. Creativity and authenticity dominate TikTok. Community focus shines on Facebook groups. And visual inspiration drives Pinterest. You mentioned data points earlier. Fashion retailers using Instagram shopping see higher conversions. LinkedIn companies sharing insights weekly get double the engagement.
So how do we choose? How do we align our business with the right platforms? You mentioned another framework.
Yeah, the Platform Business Alignment Framework.
Yeah.
It helps you evaluate systematically based on 4 key areas.
Okay, what's the first area?
Audience platform fit. This is fundamental. Where does your specific target audience spend their time? How do they engage there? How do they interact with brands like yours? What are their platform-specific behaviors? Research is key here.
Go where your customers are. Makes sense. Second area.
Content capability assessment. Be honest. Can you realistically create high-quality content tailored to that platform's specific needs consistently? What are your team's skills? What resources, time, tools, budget do you have? What frequency is sustainable for you?
Right. Don't commit to TikTok if you hate making videos and have no resources for it. Third area.
Resource requirement analysis.
Yeah.
Calculate the total effort. Content creation time, yes, but also community management, engagement time, necessary tools, potential training needs. What's the real cost in time and effort for each platform?
The hidden workload. Okay, and the fourth area.
ROI, potential evaluation. What's the likely return? Look at conversion rates for similar businesses on that platform. Check out competitor success. Consider any marketing features. Even if organic is the focus, they matter. What's the realistic organic reach potential for your niche there?
That's a really practical framework. It forces you to think strategically, not just jump on bandwagons. The case study you mentioned about the wellness coach really illustrated this, didn't it?
It did. They were stretched thin across 6 platforms. Using this kind of analysis, they realized their core audience was really on Instagram and LinkedIn, with some on Pinterest. They focused their efforts there.
And saw a huge jump in leads, right?
Right.
While actually reducing your workload.
Exactly. A 300% lead increase, and they cut their social media time by 60%. That's the power of focus.
Incredible. Are there other underlying factors we should think about when weighing platforms, like how the algorithms differ?
Absolutely. Algorithm dynamics are huge.
Yeah.
Instagram favors quick engagement, saves. LinkedIn likes dwell time, thoughtful discussion. TikTok's all about that initial viewer reaction, watch time, completion, shares. Twitter values conversation quality. Yeah. Knowing this helps tailor your content approach.
Okay.
Also consider content lifespan. A tweet is fleeting. A Pinterest pin can drive traffic for months, even years.
Right.
And engagement patterns.
Right.
When are users active? LinkedIn might peak during work hours for professional content. TikTok engagement can be spread throughout the day. You need to adapt your posting times and engagement strategy accordingly.
So it's about developing platform-specific strategies that play to each network's strengths and user habits while staying true to your brand.
Precisely. And the advice is usually, master 1 or 2 key platforms first. Get really good there, build momentum, then consider expanding if it makes strategic sense. Don't try to conquer the world on day 1.
Focus, learn, optimize, then scale.
Got it. Okay, so we know where to be, we know about engagement. Let's talk about the content itself. Crafting stuff that actually grabs attention, resonates, and maybe even converts. This feels like the creative core. It really is. And effective content creation isn't just about aesthetics or clever captions. It's deeply rooted in understanding the psychology of why people engage, share, and ultimately take action online.
Going back to psychology again, it seems central to all of this.
It is. Think about why people share things. The New York Times did fascinating research on this years ago, and the core reasons still hold true. People share to build relationships, to define their identity, to feel part of something, to support causes.
And to gain that social currency you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. To look smart, helpful, or in the know to their peers. Content that helps someone achieve that. Highly shareable. Think industry insights, unique perspectives, helpful tips, even entertaining behind-the-scenes stuff that makes the sharer look connected.
So we should ask, does sharing this make my audience look good or feel good?
That's a great lens to use. And emotions play a massive role too. Remember we talked about high arousal emotions.
Yeah, excitement, awe, amusement, but also anger or anxiety.
Right. Content that triggers those stronger emotions, positive or negative, gets shared far more often than neutral stuff. There was an example of a coffee roastery that saw a huge jump in shares, over 300%, just by telling emotional stories about their sustainable farming partners. It connected on a deeper level.
Wow, stories connect. And you mentioned transformation stories specifically.
Yes, they tap into hope and aspiration. A fitness brand, for instance, tripled engagement not just by showing workouts, but by sharing client transformation journeys, focusing on the personal growth, the overcoming of challenges, not just the physical results. That relatability is powerful.
Okay, understand the psychology, leverage emotion and social currency, tell compelling stories. What about the actual formats? We touched on video and images, but how do we use them strategically?
Short-form video is undeniably huge right now. It packs a punch, visual interest, emotion, quick value. But remember, those first 3 seconds are critical to stop the scroll.
Hook 'em fast.
Click them fast, focus on one clear message, and use captions. So much video is watched
Right.
without sound. Facebook data suggests something like 85%.
Crucial tip. What about static images? Still relevant.
Absolutely. Great for visual storytelling or breaking down complex info simply. Keys to success are strong visual hierarchy, a clear focal point, brand consistency and style, maybe text overlays for context, and incorporating human elements where possible. Remember that fitness coach using journey collages? That static format, done well, boosted engagement by over 250%.
So even static images can be dynamic and tell a story. Now, you stressed platform-specific optimization before. Content needs to fit the environment.
Critically important. What kills it on LinkedIn might be totally ignored on Instagram, simply because it doesn't match user expectations or the platform's vibe.
Can you recap those expectations quickly?
Sure, Instagram. High-quality visuals, personal stories, reels, value-packed carousels. LinkedIn. Professional insights, thought leadership, industry discussions. Twitter X. Brevity, immediacy, joining conversations. TikTok. Creativity, authenticity, trends, entertainment. You have to play to the platform's strengths.
So we shouldn't just cross-post the exact same thing everywhere.
Generally, no. A smarter strategy is adaptation. Create a core piece of content, maybe it's a blog post, a case study, a core idea, then adapt it smartly for each platform.
Like that case study becomes an Instagram carousel.
Like Twitter threads summarizing key takeaways,
A short TikTok video highlighting the main result.
and maybe a longer thought leadership article on LinkedIn. Create once, adapt intelligently. Maximize reach while respecting each platform's nuances.
Smart. Okay, so we're creating engaging platform-specific content. How do we nudge people towards actual conversion? Taking that next step. You mentioned the AIDA model.
Yes. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. It's a classic marketing framework, but super relevant for social content aimed at conversion. But again, apply it with platform context in mind.
Okay, walk us through it. Attention on social.
Stop the scroll. Unexpected visuals, bold statements, intriguing questions, clear promise of value. Something like, this psychological trigger doubled our engagement. It makes you pause.
Okay, you have my attention. Now, interest.
Build it through storytelling and relevance. Show. Don't just tell. Use examples. Connect emotionally. Elaborate on that initial hook. Why should they care?
Make it relatable, compelling, then desire.
This is where social proof shines. Testimonials, case studies, user-generated content. Show the transformation. Use future pacing. Help them visualize the positive outcome they'll get. Clearly state the benefits, not just the features. Create that I want that feeling.
Build belief and aspiration. Finally, action.
Make it crystal clear and easy. Simple instructions. What exactly do you want them to do? Click the link. Sign up. Download. Use strong verbs. Maybe add urgency or scarcity if appropriate. Remove friction.
Clear, compelling, easy CTA. And crucially, this isn't a one-and-done process, right? Testing is vital.
Absolutely essential. You have to test and optimize. Test headlines, visuals, posting times, caption lengths, calls to action. Track everything. Not just engagement, likes, comments, shares, but also conversion metrics, clicks, signups, sales. Data tells you what's actually working to drive results. It's a continuous cycle of create, measure, learn, refine.
Okay, so data-driven refinement is key to turning engagement into conversion. Now let's zoom out again to community building. We talked about the why, the glossy example was great, but how do we strategically build and nurture that engaged community over time?
It's a long game requiring patience and genuine effort. Remember the psychology social identity theory. People join communities where they feel they belong, where it aligns with their desired self-image.
Like the bullet journal movement, people weren't just buying a notebook. They were joining a tribe of creative, organized people sharing ideas.
Exactly. Writer Carroll fostered that community of practice,
Wow.
and it exploded organically because the community provided immense value through shared experience. So step one is defining clear community values that resonate with both your brand and your members' aspirations. That athletic wear brand doubling engagement by focusing on empowerment. That's values alignment in action.
And creating a safe space for interaction is paramount, you said.
Non-negotiable.
Hmm.
Psychological safety is key. People won't engage genuinely if they fear judgment or negativity. That means clear guidelines, consistent moderation, addressing bad behavior swiftly, and actively appreciating vulnerability and open sharing. It sets the tone.
Okay, so values and safety first. Then communities evolve, right? You mentioned stages.
Yes, successful communities often go through roughly 5 stages, each needing a slightly different approach.
Stage one.
Foundation, setting the purpose, guidelines, welcoming initial members, maybe targeted prompts to get things started. Leadership needs to be very visible and engaged here, modeling the desired behavior.
Setting the stage. Stage two.
Early adoption, nurturing those first active participants, offering different ways to get involved based on comfort levels, encouraging deeper engagement gradually.
Accommodating different personalities. Stage three.
Growth. This is where you develop rituals and traditions. Weekly welcome threads, monthly celebrations, regular Q&As, themed challenges, maybe even annual awards, things that create rhythm and shared experience.
Building culture.
Stage 4.
Maturity. This is where you can really empower members. Think member-led initiatives, content co-creation. This is often where you launch ambassador programs.
Ambassadors, what do they typically do?
They might help create content, welcome new members, provide peer support, represent the community, drive engagement, provide feedback. In return, they might get early access, exclusive perks, recognition, development opportunities. It empowers your most passionate members. Turning fans into leaders. In the final stage.
Evolution. Focus shifts to long-term sustainability and adaptation. How does the community stay relevant? How do you gather feedback? Plan for leadership succession. Create scalable systems for content and engagement. Have crisis protocols ready. It's about ensuring longevity.
Wow, it's quite a journey. How do we make engagement more self-sustaining within these communities so it's not all reliant on the brand pushing things?
Leverage natural motivations. Recognition is huge. Spotlighting member contributions motivates them and encourages others. Publicly thanking people, featuring their posts, giving shout-outs, it fuels participation.
Simple but powerful. What else?
User-generated content, UGC. Structure ways for members to create content for the community. Theme challenges, prompts asking for their experiences, collaborations. Give clear parameters and maybe incentives. Your community becomes a content engine.
Tap into their creativity.
And foster community-driven content. Leverage member expertise. Host member-led Q&As or workshops. Create mentorship opportunities. Your role shifts more towards facilitating and curating, letting the community's knowledge shine. It builds ownership.
Empowering the collective intelligence. It seems like successful community building is less about follower count and much more about the depth of connection and shared value created.
100%. It takes time, effort, and a genuine focus on providing value, fostering connections, and maintaining that supportive environment. But the loyalty, advocacy, and organic growth it generates are incredibly powerful and long-lasting. Depth over breadth, always.
Okay, deep connections, strong communities. Now let's tackle the elephant in the room for many, algorithms and SEO. How do these technical elements play into organic growth? It feels like a dark art sometimes.
It can feel that way, but understanding algorithms isn't optional anymore. It's crucial. We've all heard stories, right? A brand's reached tanks overnight after an update while a competitor surges. Ignoring algorithms is like sailing without understanding the currents. You might get lucky, but strategy is better.
So they're not just obstacles, but forces we need to understand and work with. What are they fundamentally trying to do?
At their core, think of them as sophisticated matchmakers. They use AI to sift through billions of posts to connect the most relevant and engaging content with the right users at the right time. Their goal is user satisfaction, keeping people on the platform longer by showing them stuff they'll actually like.
So if we create stuff people genuinely like and engage with, the algorithm should, in theory, help us.
That's the core idea. When you post something new, the algorithm immediately starts evaluating signals. How fast does it get engagement? What kind of engagement? Is the content relevant to users' interests? How authoritative is the creator? What's the format quality? How are users responding, saving, sharing, commenting deeply?
And different platforms prioritize different signals, as we touched on.
Exactly. Instagram might weigh saves heavily. LinkedIn looks at dwell time on articles. TikTok scrutinizes that initial viewer behavior completion rate, rewatches, immediate shares. Twitter X values the quality of the ensuing conversation. You have to tailor your tactics to what each platform values most.
Adapting to the signals each platform cares about. What about social proof beyond those initial likes and comments?
Algorithms look deeper now. They analyze sharing patterns, who is sharing your content, and to whom. The save-to-share ratio can be telling. Comment quality matters more than just quantity. Is your content being cited or linked elsewhere? What's your overall profile authority built over time?
So it's a holistic assessment, and trying to game it with fake engagement is a bad idea.
Terrible idea. Algorithms are smartening up to detect unnatural patterns. Sudden spikes from weird sources can actually get your distribution throttled. Authenticity and consistency in building real engagement is the only sustainable path.
Okay, algorithms are about matching valuable content. What about SEO? How does search optimization fit into social media?
While traditional SEO is for Google, SEO principles definitely apply to social platforms too, primarily for discoverability within the platform. Start with your profile.
How so?
Your profile name. Balance your brand name with relevant keywords people might search for on that platform. Your bio about section. Use strategic keywords naturally while still being readable and clearly stating your value prop. Algorithms scan these.
Makes sense. What else on the profile?
Visual elements. Consistent profile pics, cover photos, maybe highlighted content themes can reinforce your topical authority visually. And link optimization. Track clicks on your bio link. Ensure the destination page aligns well with your social content. Platforms notice this stuff.
So optimizing the profile helps the platform understand what you're about. What about optimizing individual posts for algorithms or platform search?
Timing matters. As we discussed, posting when your audience is active maximizes that crucial initial engagement window, which varies by platform. Insta's first 30 minutes, LinkedIn maybe 2-3 hours, TikTok almost instantly.
Right.
Format optimization is key too, especially for video. Algorithms analyze viewer retention curves, where engagement happens within the video, audio usage, use of interactive features, share velocity. Videos that hold attention and drive interaction get rewarded.
So much more than just view count. Given how fast algorithms change, how do we build a strategy that lasts? How do we future-proof?
Focus on the fundamentals that algorithms are ultimately designed to reward. Value first content that genuinely helps your audience. Engage in quality, foster real discussions, not just superficial interactions. Develop platform-specific expertise, really understand how each network operates. Focus on content retention, create stuff people want to save and revisit, and crucially, implement regular testing and adaptation. Track performance, watch for shifts, experiment, and adjust based on data.
So the core message is, algorithms exist to connect users with value. If you consistently create that value, you're aligning yourself with their fundamental goal.
That's the most sustainable strategy there is. Focus on serving your audience exceptionally well.
Okay, we've covered a ton: basics, engagement, value, consistency, platforms, content, community, algorithms. It feels like we have the pieces, but how do we tie it all together for the long haul? How do we sustain this growth and really know we're succeeding?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Sustainability and meaningful measurement. It's not about chasing viral hits. It's about building robust, repeatable systems that drive consistent growth over time and knowing what metrics truly matter for your goals.
Building that reliable engine, not just hoping for luck. You mentioned a growth sustainability framework. What does that involve?
Think of it like maintaining that garden we talked about.
Yeah.
It needs ongoing, systematic care. The framework usually covers 4 key areas to ensure your efforts are scalable and durable.
Okay, area number 1.
Content sustainability. This means documented workflows for everything from idea generation to performance measurement. Using templates, having a solid content calendar aligned with goals, clear brand voice guidelines. It's about creating efficient, scalable content production without sacrificing quality or value.
Building a content machine. Area 2.
Community engagement sustainability. Having clear protocols for interaction. What are your standard response times? How do you handle negative situations or crises? Standardizing this ensures consistent, quality engagement even as your team or community grows.
Having a playbook for interaction. Area 3.
Performance measurement sustainability. Setting up automated tracking where possible. Using custom dashboards to see the metrics that matter most to you. Scheduling regular review cycles. Having protocols for how you respond to performance changes, good or bad. Making measurement an efficient, ongoing habit, not a chore.
Systematizing the data analysis.
Yeah.
And the 4th area.
Resource allocation sustainability. Strategic planning for your people and tech. Clear team roles. Choosing the right tools. managing budget and time effectively, investing in training. It's about balancing automation with that essential human touch for authentic connection.
Planning the operational side for the long term. Okay, so that framework helps build sustainability. Now, for measurement, you emphasized looking beyond vanity metrics. What should we really be tracking?
Dive deeper into those engagement quality metrics. We touched on them. Comments, sentiment and depth, share to impression ratio, save rates, discussion quality and threads, time spent with content. These tell you much more about true connection and content value than just likes. A post with fewer likes but tons of saves and thoughtful comments might be way more valuable long term.
Quality over quantity in metrics, too. How do we track all these different types effectively?
A balanced scorecard approach is helpful. Identify KPIs across key categories: growth, engagement quality, conversion, if relevant, and community health. Tracking a mix gives a holistic view and stops you from over-optimizing for one easily measured but less meaningful metric.
Getting the full picture. What's the first step when setting this up?
Establish baselines. Know where you are now for each key metric. This gives context for future progress and helps identify patterns. Once you have baselines, you can set realistic improvement targets based on data, industry benchmarks, and your specific goals.
Know your starting point to chart the course. You also mentioned predictive analytics briefly. How does that fit in?
That's a more advanced step. It's about using historical data, trends, and audience behavior patterns to forecast future performance, predicting optimal posting times, identifying resonant topics before they peak, forecasting engagement on different content types, even planning resource needs based on anticipated growth.
Using data to look forward, not just back. How do we even start with that?
It starts with collecting comprehensive, high-quality data consistently over time. Then, using analytics tools that can identify deeper patterns and correlations. It's about moving from descriptive reporting, what happened, to predictive insights, what's likely to happen.
A more sophisticated use of data. Okay, finally, any overarching strategies to future-proof our organic growth efforts in this constantly shifting landscape?
It's all about building in adaptability and resilience. You can't predict every change, but you can build a system that can weather them. Key strategies include:
Go on.
1. Platform evolution monitoring. Stay plugged in, follow platform news, industry experts, beta programs, network, study early adopters, anticipate changes before they hit you full force.
Stay informed. 2.
2. Foster innovation. Have frameworks to evaluate new trends, relevance, resources needed, potential impact, risk. Use structured testing for new ideas, small pilots, clear success criteria. Don't be afraid to experiment intelligently.
Embrace experimentation. 3.
3. Proactive risk management. Diversify your platforms where it makes sense. Don't put all eggs in one basket. Have content backups. Develop crisis response plans. Conduct regular security audits. Build resilience into your operations.
Prepare for the unexpected. It sounds like sustainable growth is really an ongoing journey of learning, adapting, and strengthening foundations.
That's exactly it. The principles and strategies we've discussed today provide a solid roadmap. Remember, every big brand started somewhere. What matters is the systematic approach, the commitment to measurement, and the willingness to adapt as you and the social media world evolve.
So building that audience without paid promotion, absolutely achievable. It demands that strategic focus on value, genuine engagement, deep audience understanding, and platform adaptability. It takes time, yes, and consistent effort, absolutely. But the payoff, a loyal community, strong brand presence, lasting impact, is well worth it.
Couldn't agree more. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about just one thing we discussed today. Which single aspect of organic growth, if you implemented it consistently starting now, would likely have the biggest impact on your specific goals?
Oh, good challenge.
Is it asking better questions? Spending 15 minutes a day on thoughtful replies? Committing to that content calendar? Pick one thing and focus on making it a consistent habit. That alone can make a huge difference.
Excellent food for thought. We definitely encourage you to dive deeper into any areas that resonated today and keep exploring this dynamic world of organic social media. Thanks so much for diving deep with us.